Welcome everybody to Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks. I am, boom, Dr. Cush. Okay, what are we doing tonight? We've been working on acids all summer. We have been working on, let me just see if I can list them. We've been working on citric, malic, tartaric. We've been working on lactic. We have recently, in private, been working on succinic acid or succinic acid. S-U-C-C-I-N-I-C acid, succinic acid. We've been working on it. We worked on acid phosphate. We worked on carbonic acid. Okay, today we are finally going to take everything we've been learning and try and just shove it into a drink. Just get it in there. And how are we going to do that? Well, because we know that there are only really 7 cocktails in the whole world, we're going to pick a cocktail. We're going to pick a cocktail style that we like, and we're going to try and overwhelm ourselves with flavor. So why not pick a Daquiri? Why not pick a cocktail that I like, a Daquiri? Let's pick a Daquiri created by one of the greatest Daquiri makers of all time, a guy named Constante Ribeiragua Vert, the king of the Daquiri down Cuba way. Coming out at probably, I don't know, just taking a guess, probably 125 pounds, 5'2". Constante Ribeiragua Vert, the king of the cocktail. So let's get that going. We're going to be making more than just one of his daiquiris. We're going to sort of be... We're going to make all of them, okay? But only in one. Only in one. We're going to be making some elements from his daiquiri number 4. Some elements from his La Florida Daquiri, and then we are going to sort of add our own little bits. So let's begin. Because we're not using any juice today, what? Can't make a daiquiri. Sin juego. Es verdad? Sí. No. No es verdad. Hoy usamos acids. Today we're using acids. So we're going to be using our citric, malic, and succinic blend of acids to synthesize lime juice. It makes it so that this stuff will last for a very, very long time. The one bad news of it is that it doesn't smell anything like lime. It's acids, so it doesn't smell like lime. The cool thing about it is it's completely clear. What do I do with it? I'll try to tell you. Completely clear. It also kind of looks like Blanco tequila because it's in a Blanco tequila bottle, but remember, we upcycle. We upcycle. So this is lime acid solution. It is, let's see if we can do this. It is 94% water. That's simple. It's 4% citric acid. It's 2% malic acid, and it's 0.04% succinic acid. Now, I didn't think that it would make that much of a difference. I thought 0.04% of the succinic acid can't be doing us any good. I was in there with tweezers moving individual pieces to get 0.04% of this liquid to become succinic acid. Turns out it really does. It really does. Succinic acid is intense, and it fills in when you make your acids without using any of the juice, any of the oils, any of the citric, the oleocitrate, the oleosaccharum. You find that it becomes kind of hollow. Good news. Succinic acid solves that. We're going to battle box it here very soon to see if I can't tell the difference between succinic acid and no succinic acid. Anyway, okay. Oh gosh, let's real quick. I know that these things go on for forever, but let's talk about it. We're going to be using a number of clear ingredients that Constante would put into his daiquiris, right? So what are those clear ingredients? Obviously, simple syrup, white rum. Those are both clear. We're going to be doing the lime, but there are other things that he would find ways to sneak into his daiquiris. Things like Maraschino liqueur, right? Nice. Clear. We need drops of it. We don't need even a quarter ounces of it. We need drops of it to fill in sort of a bittering flavor from these mean Croatian cherries. We also are going to be throwing in some, and for some reason, love this stuff, some Creme De Cacao. Looks like this. It's like a chocolate liqueur. Don't tell anybody I said that. Don't tell anybody I said that. It's not like chocolate liqueur. It's creme de cacao. It's the top of the cacao. It's the creme of it. Another thing that we're going to be using is going to be some triple sec, some orange. So we are going to, for a clear cocktail, this thing is going to sing. Now, how many times have I made this cocktail? 0. Okay, so we're just gonna try it out. But we know some basics. We know the ideal that we're going for. We want to balance out our sour with our sweet, and then have have both of those sort of push like that our rum to the forefront. So we're definitely going to start off with 3/4 of an ounce of our. Do not get confused thinking that this is tequila. It is not. It's just the bottle. We're going to go ahead and put in 3/4 of an ounce of a citric, malic, and succinic acid blend. Excellent. That's our lime. Is that what I drive a hoverboard to work? What are we in the future? I got Rosie somewhere making me a meal? No. This is present day. Okay, we're gonna throw in, normally, we're doing this a little out of order because I think that the interesting part of this daiquiri is going to be where we sweeten it from. So we're gonna go ahead and add in our rum, 2 full ounces of a white, or some people say this is clear. Rum people see it as white. Rum people have drank themselves into a weird stupor. This is a white Puerto Rican style rum. You could also say it's a Cuban style rum, but then you might get arrested. Oh, that's true. Rosie, the Rosie I was just referring to was, of course, Rosie the robot from the Jetsons. I was trying to do a future thing, but we do have a praying mantis now that lives in our rosemary bush named Rosie. So I don't think Rosie will be making us anything. I don't think Rosie the robot will make us anything. That's what we got. Okay, lime and rum. You want to drink this? I'm done. I'm done with you. Go. You can leave class. You're good. Okay, but we do need to sweeten this up a little bit. Now, my feeling on this is, and listen to me, simple syrup is going to be probably half of this. Right? So we want to go maybe a heavy 1/4 ounce of simple syrup, and then we want to blend the rest of them. So we're going to probably find a half and half blend of orange liqueur, triple sec, and a creme de cacao. The creme de cacao is going to do more in the bittering than it is going to be doing in the sweetening. Although the creme de cacao is a liqueur, so that has sugar added to it, it's going to do more of the bittering than it is going to be doing of the sweetening. So my initial thought is just go like 1/4 on both of these, and then see what we need. So let's just do that. Oh, let's grab our simple syrup first. You know what? We'll do simple syrup last, because we can tell how sweet we need to get this going. Chuck suggests that possibly we name this cocktail the acid reflux. GERD. This is called as the GERD. Ugh, nightmares about GERD. Technically no, because GERD makes me not be able to sleep. But let's go ahead and put in a 1/4 ounce of some creme de cacao. Again, this is white creme de cacao, despite the fact that it is clear. Something going on with that, I don't know. And then we're gonna grab our bowls. Triple sec. So triple sec, triple dried, triple distilled, triple whatever. This is an orange liqueur. If you want, you can throw some Cointreau in here. Probably a little nicer. Although Bowls Company was pretty instrumental in creating the triple sec. They were Curacao, Morley, but Morley. Let's go with Morley. Can I get a hashtag Morley? Thank you, Kyle. We're gonna go ahead and put in a 1/4 ounce of some white triple sec. There we go. And I think it's important. Because this is really, despite the fact that Constante, thank you, Kyle, hashtag Morley. Despite the fact that, of course, Constante Ribeilagua Vert was a hero in and of himself. He was truly one of those dudes that just was at the top of his game. It took this man. I have a little thing of him, so I might as well use it. It took this guy right here. This is our good friend Ernie Hems, one of the Hemingway brothers, with Chris and Luke, or whatever their names are. This is Ernest Hemingway. Ernest Hemingway went in and he decided that he was going to order a drink, but he didn't want any sugar. So he said, double the rum, take out all the sugar. Constante, being not just a mixologist, which what a dumb term, he was a bar person. He said, instead of saying, no, yo soy un artista, yo no puedo hacer la bebida que quieres, he said, Senor Hemingway, it would be my pleasure. Was that French? I don't know. So he did it. Spectacular. Even spoke to him in his own language, I assume. I wasn't there. I was years away. So in that famous drink, the Hemingway Daquiri that was created by our friend Constante Ribera-Gobert, he used Luxardo Maraschino. Now, we don't need a lot of this stuff. We have so many other things that are going to be floating through this cocktail. We don't need to over-bitter this, right? Think about the creme de cacao, think about the bitters, think about what we got. I think I even have, I think I have a little dropper bottle of it. Hold on. Start writing your hate comments about how this show goes on forever and I only just make one thing. This is a great time to do that. Maraschino. I don't have it. Okay, well, I had one. Okay, either way, we're just gonna go very, very minimal. We're going drops of this. Ready? So this got this little fun dropper bit up here. We're just going to go ahead and do drops. So here comes. Drops. That's it. That's all you need. Think about, for a lot of cocktails, you want to think about Maraschino liqueur as a bitters. Not as a bitter, but as a bitters, as a cocktail flavoring. Right now, woo! Right now, I will tell you, it smells like rum. That's all I get. Because, of course, we're not hiding behind the smell of lime. The smell, unimportant. My nostrils have been plugged up since 1985. I had 3 good years of great smelling. But now, can't smell a thing. Okay, that's what we got. We also need some simple syrup in here, but I want to try this first to see how close we are getting to our sweetness before we start just throwing in, because right now we have half an ounce of sweetener to 3/4 of an ounce of a fake lime. So let's see how we did. I cannot tell a lie. I feel like Big Lime is in trouble. The mix of citric, malic, and succinic acid is so interesting and tart and thin. It's thin. We don't often add lime. Like, we add pineapple juice to cocktails sometimes because when we shake it, the protein's in there, they fuzzle up, and then they get to the top. And they make a secondary layer, and it gives us like a thickness, right? Same thing with like orange juice. Same thing with like our guavas and our passion, all that. Lime juice, we don't care about our lime juice giving us thickness. When we have a daiquiri, we want our daiquiri to come out even closer to a martini than we want it to come out as like a sour, right? I am really, so I'll show you guys how to do this succinic. This is not up for lazy Sunday. Yes, fuzzle up. Hashtag fuzzle up. I do think it needs a little bit of simple syrup, but we haven't added any ice to it yet. So I am going to hit it with a short 1/4 ounce of simple syrup. That means that we have 3/4 of a sweetener, 3/4 of a sour, and 2 of a booze. And that's, listen, I'm no mathematician, clearly. This is not what a mathematician dresses like. I'm wearing shorts. This is not what we dress like, right? I assume that they wear suits everywhere they go. But I do know cocktail math, and that is a pretty standard daiquiri. So let's go ahead and put in a short 1/4 ounce. of some simple syrup. The simple syrup I'm using is this organic sugar, so it comes in a little darker than I wanted to, but within the context of this cocktail, it's still pretty darn clear. Cool. Okay, let's keep going. Let's give this a taste now. Give it a little stir. Didn't get me. Didn't get the seal. Or. Interesting. Okay, with the addition of the sweet, the chocolate comes out. Now, I don't want this to be a chocolate daiquiri. It's not what I want. I do want this to be a like almost a creamier version of the daiquiri, and that's what the chocolate is doing, is reminding us that chocolate ice cream exists. That's all it's doing. Okay, another thing that goes into a lot of Constante Ribialagua Vert's cocktails are vermouth. Is vermouth. Is vermouth are vermouths. So how will we put vermouth in here? Normally, Constante like to put in red vermouth, Italian vermouth, sweet vermouth. Well, we don't want to do that because the idea is to keep this nice and clear. I have it. I have the answer. We're gonna reach down. We're gonna reach over here and find these little guys. We have tartaric acid and you can't tell it anymore, but that used to say lactic acid. Tartaric acid and lactic acid, we know, because tartaric is a grape acid and a lactic acid is the result of lactofermentation. So when we ferment grapes, we will end up with something like a lactic and a malic acid. How do you get vermouth? You ferment grapes. Great, we're good. Okay, now I do know when you put this stuff together, we've tried it before, it ends up looking a lot like this, which is, this part's really nice. This part down here, not great, right? When we add lactic and malic acid to make champagne acid, it becomes an issue. So we're gonna go really low on this. I wanna go big on the tartaric and low on the malic. So we're gonna go ahead and give this a full dropper of our tartaric. And we're gonna give a half dropper, we're gonna shake it, of our malic. So let's go half dropper, right? This is not super scientific, but right there, perfect. So just as a nod to our good friend, Constante Ribialagua Vert, we have used a number of his ingredients that he normally would put into his cocktails. We have thrown it into this. Let's see, did that change anything? The good news, it did not change it milky, so we're good. Sometimes you just do it. Sometimes you wake up and you like laze away your day. Maybe you do some yard work, you read a book, you play some Monster. Sometimes you do that, but then when the time comes, you just do it. That's delicious. Okay, we do need, of course, it's running a little hot right now because we need to add about 20% of our cocktail's weight in water. So we're gonna put a lot of ice in here, and then we're gonna give this a stir. Now I am a little embarrassed. I don't know where the rest of my little spoons are. We'll be using a little red tip. Technically, the red tip, you guys don't know this, comes from an old Arabic tradition where this spoon was used to make a particular type of coffee, and it had a little red tip at the end. So this is it's not just cheapness. It is a nod to history. Let's give this a little stir. Cheers to Hennessy. Everybody know that I won 3rd place in a Hennessy contest recently? Sustainability. Used almonds in a cocktail for a sustainable cocktail. They mentioned that when they told me how my cocktail was. They're like, listen, we weren't going to let this idiot in, but the cocktail tasted so good. So we're going to take points off for some sustainability. It takes 1 gallon to make 1 almond, 1 gallon of water to make 1 almond. Not super sustainable, pal. But it ended up being, the cocktail itself was so good. I had to forget about some of that other stuff. I had to break their own little rules. Oh yeah, here we go. we're gonna get a, we're just gonna try and do this right. We're gonna grab a julep strainer. Julep strainer does not have the springs. Hawthorne strainer has the springs. Oh, Hawthorne strainer has the springs. Julep strainer, no springs. This is for stirred cocktails. We're gonna go ahead and dump this right into our APC, or our all-purpose coupe. We're gonna hit that wash line almost exactly. I mean, please. Dime. That means tell me. Look at that. This, my friends, is a daiquiri. Now, I do assume that if you were to batch this into some sort of large situation, shove it into a water bottle, I imagine you could sneak this into a lot more places than you could a regular daiquiri, which will come out, if not bright green, it shouldn't be bright green, it'll come out looking fairly watery as the glass unchills. We go from there. There we go. I feel like we are some carbonic acid away from one of those experimental or international soda flavors. Yes, that's exactly right. Hashtag Cush Cola. That was, to be honest with you, Roger, I'm glad you picked up on that. The inspiration for today was Crystal Pepsi. I wanted to make something like Crystal Pepsi. You know, daiquiri, pretty good. Crystal daiquiri, way better. Disappeared in the 90s. I guess what do? We drink now? Let's just drink now. Okay. Cheers to you guys. Let's see how we did with all the cold, with all the chill. Oh. It's very nice. It's very nice. The Creme De Cacao is so subtle that unless I know what I'm looking for, I would never, this is not like a chocolate daiquiri by any means. The orange, the triple sec, seems to be helping out the lime acid solution, seems to help it find its way. The maraschino liqueur is there, very subtle, but it's there, and it is giving me the bitter end to this. When we think about, as we've been doing the acids, I've talked about acids hitting the front of my tongue, the side of my tongue, and the back. But then there's like little middle places where maybe it doesn't hit. Those are the bitter the bitter zones. I'm finding that the bitter zones are being filled in by the maraschino liqueur, and I think the sweetness is right on. So 3/4 simple syrup, 2-to-1. 1/4 simple syrup, 1/4 triple sec, 1/4 creme de cacao. You know the one thing that would make this a little better? Yeah, I think we got to do it. There we go. Now, typically, saline solution is clear. Not today. We use black volcanic rock, so we're just going to do a couple dashes of saline solution. Maybe one dash. This is 4-to-1, so this is heavy saline solution. There we go. There we go. Just a little saline solution, one big dash. Let's give that a stir with our Arabian spoon here. Oh, that's a fun noise. Didn't do it again. First one went. Okay. Yes, there it is. Okay. I've only been doing this for 25 years, guys. Please give me some time to learn what I'm up to. Especially in a cocktail that has a number of sort of out there ingredients, right? Creme de cacao, orange liqueur, cherry, bitter cherry liqueur, fake lime, all that stuff. The more your ingredients feel like they're not going to accept each other, the better the bigger the deal the saline solution is. So one dash of that should be all. You do not want this to taste salty. You have done the wrong thing if it has tasted salty. Piker's Burton made a White Russian, swapped out the vodka for rum. Nice. Honestly, Picris, excellent. Which rum? Just with the caveat that the moment that you mention a rum in this chat, you're going to get like 15 people recommending a different rum. But Picris, I'm interested in what rum you put in. Was it like a white rum? Was it like a Bacardi? Because that's pretty close to vodka. But you know, you throw in some sort of like some funky Jamaican. I think you got yourself a deal there, pal. But Picris, I will let you know as soon as you mention it, somebody's going to tell you to do a different rum. Don't let them get you down. You know what? Saline just might be what my lychee cocktail needs. There you go, Dougie. There we go. Now this is my fault as a, and I'm going to call myself this, as a cocktail educator. As a cocktail educator, I have a blind spot. When I was in 3rd grade, I had a teacher, Mrs. Miles, and she, when we were learning our multiplication scales, she would say, Dr. Miles. Did I say Mrs. Miles? Dr. Miles. She was Dr. Miles. When we were learning our multiplication tables, she said, I, as the teacher, just do not understand how 7 times 8 equals 56. She didn't get it. Just didn't like make sense. I don't understand this one. Now that's the one multiplication that I do not need any work on. 7 times 8, 56. Boom, got it, ready. 6 times 8, I couldn't even tell you, right? I need to get out a calculator or something, but 7 times 8, 56. I want to hopefully that my failing ends up being your remembering. Remember that in most cocktails, just a little bit of saline solution helps with almost everything. Not every cocktail needs it. White rum is all they had. Okay, guys, get them. Just kidding, just kidding. Honestly, finding a little bit of extra sugar to go into a White Russian, I think, is a spectacular situation. What are you calling it, Picris? What's the name of the cocktail? What about grapefruit bitters? Free Brothers is yellowish, but Scrappy's is clear. Which one do I have? I have Fee. I only have Fee. Fee, fi, ho, hum. Yeah, I didn't want to make this into a. We'll do a clarified version of a. We'll do a clarified version of a Hemingway. This is the rest of Constante's work. But I do think that we will find ways to make completely clear versions of every cocktail. That's the goal. I feel like at that point we have solved bartending and we can just stop. Hand it off to the robots. Us bartenders, we can go live on an island somewhere with tattoo guns. I don't need one, but somebody, well, there'll be probably, let me tell you what there would be on Bartender Island. There'd be tattoo guns. There would be burritos that come from a truck that you can eat in 2 bites. There will be a place to smoke. I don't smoke, but this is Bartender Island. And most likely, there will be a toxic relationship for everybody. So that's what I think will be on Bartender Island. And that's where we'll go. It said rum. You're good in my book. There we go, Picris. Shiny Pan Baker. Gotcha. Okay. And it was nasty. Oh, bummer. Okay. Okay, I think that's what we got, guys. The citrus in this drink is something that came out of Dexter's laboratory, but the weird ingredients that came to mind are Creme De Cacao and Maraschino. Yeah. We're in, to be very honest with you, Roger, we are in the summer of acids. So I think that's, it's important that we say that the weird ingredients are not the acids. Does Buffalo Trace have a clear bourbon? It does not have a clear bourbon, but it does have a white dog. This is not a bourbon per se. It is mash number 1, which is their famous mash that has a lot of it. But this is not a bourbon because, of course, what do we know about the rules of bourbon? Bourbon needs to be aged for, everybody know? You do. 2 years in a new char white oak barrel. So technically, if it is not aged, it is not bourbon. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, it's a moonshine. They call it the White Dog or White Lightning, or they call it gross. Please do not serve that to me anymore. It is not great. It is not great. I think that's what we got. Love cocktail signs. Good. No, you're in the right place. Okay, I think that's what we got, guys. I think we did it. Yep, 47 minutes to make one drink. What even is this? What even is this show? Okay, let me get one more. Now that it's warmed up, I was really just waiting for it to warm up. As it warms up, the chocolate, the creaminess becomes more apparent. I do think that the creaminess is helped by the lactic acid. I do think that the tartness is helped by the tartaric acid, and the rest of it is just what we got. So that's what we have. Tomorrow is my day off, so I'll be watching the USA take on Belgium. I'll be doing that at some point. But again, cheers to our good friend Moose. Because our second team in this house is Norway. So thank you guys so much for tuning into Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks. We will be back here on Tuesday for what? Huh? Tiki Tuesday. We're going to be doing some tiki drinks out here. We're going to be using everything that we have been able to muster, that we have learned from the Summer of Acid so far, and now we begin to build drinks. So if you're interested in watching abject failure in making a cocktail, what a great place you found. Because we're going to fail until we succeed. That's the problem. Most people give up after the failure part. I've been doing this for 6 years. I can't give up now. What would I do? Turn it all off? Can't do it. Okay, that's what I got for you guys. Let's go ahead and jump over to, oh, 1 second. I have to talk for just a second more because, oh, I'll just do it here. We'll go here, turn on the music first, and then we'll go down here and change it from the phone because it doesn't have to change from the computer every time. Thank you guys for tuning in to Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks. I am Dr. Cush. And happy birthday to Sidecar. We'll be back here on Tuesday. Thank you so much for tuning in to Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks. I'm Dr. Cush, and we'll see you next time. What do we always say? Tune in after these credits roll because everybody's going to want to hear what Smoking Joe has. And there's a commercial. Bye. Oh, dang, hit the wrong thing. Bye.
Yes, master. Yes, 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 master.
Well, maybe.
Yes, 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 master.
question during the show about can you? Let's bring up the question. This is by Roger G. Can bourbon be charcoal filtered to make it clear after aging and still be bourbon? Now, Dr. Cush was looking on his phone for a completely different reason. Don't worry about that. I, Smoking Joe, knew the answer from the very beginning. And of course the answer is yes, you can charcoal filter a bourbon after being distilled and this is an important part, aged. Once it's aged, you can then charcoal filter a bourbon, mostly for clarity. Bourbon does not allow, this is not normally what I do, but I'm giving some facts. But bourbon does not allow for any adulterants, so you can't add any, say, agar or Cheeto-san or Kisasol to clarify. So if you were going to start to clarify your bourbon, charcoal would be the best. Now, Cush, while you're doing this, why don't you run the commercial? There we go. Well done there, buddy. Good one. Anyway, that's what I know, and I just knew that. That's not something that I had to look up. I didn't have to think about it at all. I happen to know that. So, that is the deal. What else should we talk about? We'll be back here, obviously, on Tuesday for Tiki Tuesday. That's when this hat makes the most sense. And we'll make a drink. I won't do anything. I open drinks. But we'll make a drink. And then we'll hang out and go U.S. soccer and go Norwegian soccer and smoking jazz, of course. A bourbon connoisseur. A connoisseur of many things. A connoisseur of almost everything. That's what I have. Until next time. What do we always say? We say, hey, Chinga Chinga, bring me some of that charcoal filtered bourbon. Because that's a thing. Definitely a thing. And also, what else we say? We say bye-bye. We say bye-bye. We say bye-bye to all the stuff that's in bourbon, because we're charcoal filtered today, baby. And until then, bye-bye.